So, do any of you remember Switchfoot? I was watching an event from the mid-2000s, and as the finale song, they chose Dare You to Move. This hit me like a train, for I hadn't heard the song or of the band since, the 2000s. So it gave me quite the flashback, and it led me to really look into things. That is what we will be looking at this time around. I am your host Natty, and this is Nat Reviews, the series where I take a look at a random piece of media and give my thoughts on it. So, without any further ado, let us dive on in. Alright, we cannot begin to look into Switchfoot's work without first taking a look into the band itself. So who is Switchfoot? Switchfoot was formed in the mid-90s in the cradle of the post-grunge movement under the name Chin Up. As a sign of things to come, they got their first gigs playing at member John Foreman's father's mega church in California. It was not long after that they got contacted by a music industry veteran in Charlie Peacock to sign onto his indie label Rethink Records under the new name Switchfoot, which in my opinion is a better name that looks more professional for a label artist. But that's just me. Rethink went on to distribute the first 3 albums the band made. However, before the release of the first album, the label was bought out by a Christian giant record label in Sparrow Records. It was with this that the label and band's plans on reaching Switchfoot out of the contemporary Christian radio genre was put on hold. The band would then be heavily marketed on the Christian radio around this time. John Foreman considered this time as when half of who we were was lost. Their third album, Learning to Breathe, was their largest album during this time, even gaining a Grammy nom for the Best Rock Gospel Album, which before researching this video, I had no idea the award even existed. Though they weren't gaining much attention that they wished they would have, a film, A Walk to Remember, gained them exposure for their music featured prominently throughout it. Due to this exposure, Switchfoot began to gain the attention of record labels, ultimately signing with Columbia Records, a much larger label. It was here that their major label debut, The Beautiful Letdown, was finally released. The band gained a new sound as they moved away from their lo-fi indie rock sound and added synth layers, which helped in propelling them into mainstream popularity. The album went double platinum thanks to the help of constant touring and major hits like Meant to Live and Dare You to Move. Due to the success, Columbia also re-released their first 3 albums, which all settled for some success, certifying gold. Albums would come and pass. Their second major label album release was their highest charting, obtaining 3rd place on the Billboard 200. However, they would eventually split from Columbia around 2007 so they could release indie music once again. John also saying it was due to a lack of responsibility they felt under Columbia. They would get signed by Atlantic Records for some years, but I'm sure I don't need to mention it. They haven't really enjoyed much success since their major label debut. Perhaps from change of interest in genres or vast variety of other reasons, who is to know? But yes, they have experienced decreasing sales over the years, as have most of the music industry. They have moved label to label and their music is still distributed through Sparrow, which has cemented their image in most people's minds as a Christian band, despite how much the band members reject this label applied to them. I wonder where that sounds familiar. Now that we have spoken about who they are as a band, I figure it's time to take a look at some of their work, so let us begin. Last year, as I took a look at Hoopstank, I noticed the rise of single-word bands like Trapped, Hoopstank, Lifehouse, and many, many others. Switchfoot is another of that vein. Much like those bands, Switchfoot also took from various alternative influences for their music. Though before we take a look at some of the work that made them famous, even if for a moment, I shall take a look at their early, more Christian work. Chem 6A. Their first single released in 1997 was a song under the name Chem 6A. And looking at the video, anyone getting any Sweater Song vibes about the video? Well, that obvious note aside, I gotta say, the song isn't itself that bad. It's actually rather decent, especially for a mid to late 90s alt rock song. It reminds me of Green Day's work around the time in its lyrics. They were very clearly channeling some of their influences in other popular acts around the time. I must also note the chorus is actually rather catchy, but perhaps it could interest you if you wish to look into it. This song and others I talk of will be linked in the description below. New Way to Be Human. This song is a rather quirky one and shows the band has an energy to them. I must say this too is a rather nice sounding song. The video too shows the band having some creative talent to them. You could really tell they were trying to get their work onto a major music video place like MTV with their creative videos and catchy numbers. The video is a very strange one and I would highly recommend you watch it. The singles thus far are actually rather good. I am quite enjoying this. Sure, there is very subtle hints toward their Christian label, throwing in some vaguely Christian themes here and there, but for the most part I'm actually enjoying these singles. They have an energy to them and creativity. The Christian parts seem very chopped in, like they were just added because Sparrow told them to, but otherwise the singles so far are good. I would look into the album's deeper cuts sometime, but they are harder to find, plus I do not desire to make this video too long. Perhaps one day, who knows, but yes, on to the next. You Already Take Me There. This song was off their third album. The one I mentioned got Grammy noms. You can really tell they were trying desperately to get onto the mainstream by now. Their energy and style were proving this. This song is actually quite good as well. It isn't as overtly Christian either. There is the subtle hints, but you can actually listen to this and not feel suffocated by, "Hey, this is a Christian song! You get it? You get it?" like so much of modern Christian music seems to be on the radio. I kind of miss that, to be honest. I enjoyed when Christian music could actually reach out beyond its tight-knit circles. You could actually get people more interested in the faith if you didn't suffocate us with its message so much. Just need to chill some like this song did. And yes, it may surprise you, I'm defending Christian music a bit. 2020 be wild! But I know it used to be harder and with more of an edge to them in the past. Now it is very soft and edgeless, and constantly praising it feels too suffocating. There was some actually good Christian music out there in the past. Perhaps you could take a look at those sometime, and perhaps I may as well. But yes, this song is good and its video is wildly energetic, even if short. It's exciting, which I enjoy. It doesn't make me want to sleep when I hear it or see it, which is a very good thing. Meant to Live. Ever heard of a little movie known as Spider-Man 2? I have, though I, like many, seem to remember it most from its soundtrack, which in my mind is a legendary soundtrack. This song is actually not on the album, but the song had been mixed with Spider-Man 2 footage for the UK public. In the UK, this song was indeed on the album. And that is the video I associate most with the song. Its other two videos, yes, there were 3 videos, count them, 3, featured the song in a higher key than the album showcased. They are the Spider-Man 2-less, which I say boo to. This song in the movie will always be linked for me. But yes, this song I am not sure I like as much. It feels much preachier than their earlier singles. It only implies it's Christianity, but it's much louder and it adds to its preachy nature for me. I am not sure I like the song, but I do feel it certainly helped cross over to the mainstream due to its hard rock elements. I do enjoy its bridge very much and the song is sonically nice, but I am not sure I enjoy the song as a whole. Dare You to Move. Alright, now we finally reached Dare You to Move, which is the song that led me to taking this deep look into the band itself. The song was playing at the end of the 2006 Brickyard 400, which is the event I was watching a replay of when I heard this song by surprise. It completely didn't fit the race at all, but it is certainly very interesting to me. This song starts slower and picks up as it goes. It is very much a softer rock song than Meant to Live, and it features its synth nature in bits and pieces. It feels more like the contemporary Christian music of today when it tries to be rock. On that note, the song does in fact feel once again rather preachy. which is very interesting when the Christian work of the prior singles was lesser than the songs that made the group its most famous. I enjoy its positive message indeed, and I believe I like this song slightly better than Meant to Live. It is just a bit inspiring, or it attempts to be. Its bridge is one I do not enjoy, which is the reverse of Meant to Live for me. I enjoy the rest of the song instead, but people will enjoy what they want in these songs, I suppose. Dare You to Move was their last top 40 hit, making them a 2-hit wonder on mainstream radio. In fact, 2 top 20 hits. On the Christian radio, they obviously had much more success, and this is the end of Switchfoot's flirtation with the mainstream. Perhaps people took a note of the preachy messages and were turned off after 2 enormous singles. Who knows? But yes, let us move on to the future works now. Stars. Alright, this song goes in a wild direction I hadn't expected. You know the kind of alt-rock that was popular in high schools and colleges around that time? I am unsure what to call it, but it was certainly popular with teens of the Avril era in groups like All American Rejects or Bowling for Soup. That is the vibes the song gives for me. It's certainly better than their 2 large hits on the preachy factor. It is energetic and its music video is once again creative. I prefer this vastly over Dare You to Move or Meant to Live for sure. Neat thing there. I recommend the video, certainly. I find it visually interesting and the song is much more bearable than preachy. It's a fun song. I actually enjoy this song myself, and it was the first off their second major label album. It didn't perform on the charts as well as the last album single, but at least it sounded better. This is Home. Alright, so I like the last song for dialing back on its preachiness and actually being energetic and fun? Yeah, this song ain't it, Chief. This song appeared on the soundtrack for The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian. And you want to remember those films? They feel kinda forgotten today, which marked the second time in their major label days they appeared on such a thing. If you count the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack feature in the UK, which I certainly do. This song is more dialed back and has a more overt Christian theme to it than Stars did. And the energetic video isn't there. It feels very held back, just like Meant to Live's Spider-Man 2 video was. It was restricted in its scenery, but its services, I suppose. The song isn't that memorable to me, but like always, links in the description. Who We Are. To finish off these songs, I shall take a look at Fading West, which was their second best performing album in terms of when it peaked in the charts, placing 6th, which is better than the album that they had their hits on. But yes, let us move on to the song that is thus far their last chart on a more mainstream chart, Who We Are. Alright, this song fits more with the indie wave that was reaching the mainstream around the time the song got released. It's sonically more interesting and is different stylistically than the other songs I have listened to, which I do note about the band. It seems to change styles a lot, which is interesting. I like that kind of range of creativity instead of just staying to one style. This song is a rather good one and catchy at that. Its beat is very nice as well. I actually do enjoy this song as well, like very much. This is perhaps one of the faves of the ones I have listened to. Well done impressing me there, Switchfoot. This is a very good song. I don't feel a preachy vibe from it, which I note is a pattern. I tend to enjoy their less preachy songs. They can have a great message and not just suffocatingly preach. I enjoy this. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the last song that they had charted on a mainstream chart here in America, it charting at 16th on the alternative airplay charts. Perhaps just due to lack of success while associated with the label, it is perhaps why Atlantic moved on from them and the band eventually moved to Vanguard and later Fantasy Records for distribution. But those are just ideas of mine, who knows the true story. But yes, I feel I've taken a look at across their history rather well to gain some kind of thoughts on them, so why don't we move on to a conclusion now, shall we? Conclusion. What are my thoughts on the band? Well, I gotta say the band can certainly explore different genres, which I appreciate. I may not enjoy their more preachy songs, but this has been nice. I have enjoyed most of the work I have listened to here. They certainly do take pride in their faith, which I suppose is admirable to their fan base and others. Good on them, but I do believe they're a very creative band. Many bands just stick to one sound and stick with it for ages, but this band seemed to explore different styles with each song I listened to, which I applaud them for. They certainly could master different sounds, which again, good on them. They certainly are a band with creativity and a form of talent, being able to cross genres as they do. I also wish to note that they have been involved in numerous humanitarian causes, and while I may not know how good these places are for I haven't done much research on them, I must say it's nice to see a band be this involved. Good on the band for seeming to really care for their fellow man. Switchfoot thusly gets my natty seal of approval. Do I look forward to more from them? I do believe the answer to this is more of a maybe. I haven't taken a look into the more deep cut side of their albums, but if they represent anything like their singles, then perhaps I may. I may one day take a look at their more deep cuts from their albums, but who knows. If you're a fan of their work, let me know what songs I should listen to down below. I am interested in hearing your recommendations. I am quite open and welcoming of pretty much any genre, as I'm sure this video shows. Never thought I'd be taking a look at a very clearly Christian-styled band. Now I know the band wouldn't like that label, but it's rather clear their faith inspires their work to at least some degree. I doubt any member from the band will ever see this video, but I will say you are quite a creative band from what I have heard off the singles, and I am impressed. Do keep it up. I do appreciate the fact you can experiment and try out new sounds as you do. It's very interesting to see in a band. But yes, I feel this video is dragging on a bit now, so I feel we should wrap things up here. It was very unexpected of me to be taking a look at this band. Like I said, I completely forgot about them in all these years, but I am glad I took a listen. There are some songs I have turned out to actually like, which is very surprising. Do let me know your own thoughts about their work down below. I have been your host Natty, and I wish you all have a very lovely day. Take care and farewell.